My great-grandfather was Chen Lifu. All I knew about him was that he was on the cover of Time magazine in 1947, was an important political figure in China, and had written a memoir that was sitting on my shelf untouched. Recently, I decided that it was important to know my family origins. I thought my great-grandfather would be an interesting place on my family tree to start.
I don't know my father, except he is my father. Like a image of a very important father. During the wartime, we lived different places. In Chongqing, he was very close to the main organization of the government, and we were sent out to the country because the bombing of Chongqing.
At the turn of the century, China was in a weakened state. There had been a revolution that had overthrown the emperor, and China was on the verge of being colonized.
My interest was in science and engineering, for at that time China was a weak nation, and I believed that only science and modernization could make China prosperous and strong. On my return to China in 1925, I made up my mind to devote myself to China's reconstruction by working as an engineer. I did not expect that I would start a new career in politics right away after returning from abroad. It is painful for anyone to give up one's lifelong ambition and interest. I was consoled, however, by the thought that it was valuable to follow Chiang Kai-shek and dedicate myself to our national revolution.
His uncle had been a revolutionary who had overseen the removal of the old Chinese emperor. So he came from a revolutionary family, and so we could see almost 100 years of struggle.
The nationalists were competitors with the communists, with a different view for modern China. When the Communist Party started sending assassins to kill major nationalist leaders, the Nationalist Party under Chiang Kai-shek decided that they would strike first.
He was the main character who in charge of the organization of the Kuomintang party. He was the chief, and a lot of people accuse him of done a lot of killings, so actually he did not.
Thousands of people ultimately were killed on the communist side, but it was a case of whoever struck first was going to be the one who survived, or at least that was their belief at the time.
My brother and I did our very best to defeat the communists. We treated our comrades with sincerity and kind-heartedness. We encouraged them to be loyal to the National Revolution and to its leader, Chiang.
He dedicated his entire life until 101 trying to make China stronger. His name, Li Fu, it wasn't his original name, but it means like to stand up and to be stronger.
Although I answered many questions about my great-grandfather, I still have many more. It is difficult for me to decide what I think of him, because although he was fighting for a cause he believed in, he and his party had to kill many people in the process.